Hello and welcome. So today's teaching is in line with the harvest full moon in September and the rare blood moon eclipse that also aligns with this full moon. So today I've decided to teach you a little bit about what this full moon and blood eclipse is all about and how it's going to help you if you decide to join this yoga practice with me today. But I also do full moon events, and I do have an event on the 5th of September 2025, so if you're watching this at any other time it's relevant to 2025. Hopefully I'll have grown even more from teaching here, and that my events will be well known by the time that this is seen, maybe in the future. So today I'm going to invite you to this yoga practice as we gather in the light of the approaching harvest full moon, which is next week. And this full moon is a time of reflection, abundance and gratitude. And it's a time and a chance to pause and honour how far we've come and just consider the seeds that we've nurtured throughout this year. And so this particular moon is rare, a blood moon eclipse, carrying the powerful energy of release and reset. Eclipses invite us to let go of old patterns, to step out of the shadows, and to make space for clarity and alignment. So in our practice today, we're going to be working with the energies of surrender and letting go. So with each breath, we'll invite release. With each movement, we'll clear space. And with our stillness, we'll welcome in integration. As you can hear and see, I'm outside, so I'm hoping that this recording is not going to blow over. So we're going to gather the lessons that we've grown into and align with what truly matters as we move forward. So if you're joining me and you've listened so far, you might need to pause this recording so that you can go and get your yoga mat, a cushion and a blanket, because these are all things that will be helpful for you throughout your practice. And if not, you might just choose to listen and see how far you can get, maybe in a seated practice with me, if that's all that you can do with me today. So as you settle wherever you are, take a moment to ask yourself, what am I ready to release? And then ask yourself, what wisdom am I ready to carry forward? So we're just going to check in with our breath now. So wherever you're joining me, whether it's at the beginning of the day, middle of the day, or at the end of the day, don't always take that time, do we, to just find our breath. And in most cases, we're only breathing into our chest, our fight and our flight. It's very unusual to use the lower parts of our belly. So I invite you now, maybe to start off with, take one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and just notice where your breath is flowing right now. And just let it naturally deepen, relaxing into the shoulders, even into the elbows, softness in your jaw and your face, maybe even closing your eyes. Just allowing your breath to flow into your chest, then down into your ribs, and then all the way into the depths of your belly. And if you are seated on your cushion, you will find that this is much more comfortable to enable the spine to lengthen and allow your breath to flow. So we're just going to take a few deep breaths. Maybe let's go with a lovely number of 3 deep breaths in, chest, ribs, belly, and then slowly out. Maybe a sigh out of the mouth. One more time. And so now I'm going to invite you to either stay with that breath, or because we're channeling moon energy in this yoga practice, I'm just going to teach you how we can use, we have alternate nostril breathing. You might have been aware of that, and you may have used that in a yoga practice before. But today I'm just going to invite you to use the left side of your nostril, which is the side of the moon breath, the lunar energy, which is known for calming rather than the solar. So we have both sides, lunar and solar, for sun and moon energy, and they integrate. So when we're alternate nostril breathing, we try and align the energy through our body. But today I'm just going to invite you to notice lunar calming energy. Though I'm out in the lovely sunshine, I'm lovely and warm, we're just going to invite that calmness. So what I'm going to ask you to do now, you can do this with just holding fingers up like this if it becomes uncomfortable, and that we just block with the right index finger your right nostril, and you just inhale through the left nostril and then block the left nostril to exhale slowly through the right. And try not to keep any tension in your jaw or your face as you do this. It will become easier as you close your eyes and just go with the flow. So it is just then again blocking the right nostril. We're only inhaling through the left and exhaling through the right, and we just use our fingers to help us block. Inhaling left, blocking with the right, blocking left, exhaling with the right. Inhale left, exhale right. Again, try and soften the jaw, lips, the face muscles, and just then become aware of the cool energy, or the air, cool air, creating that energy into the body. Might be helpful because I'm outside, but it feels really cooling as the air comes in through the left nostril, and the smooth, warm air, it just touches the top lip as it slowly exhales. So again, just flow with this now. So I like to take the thumb and the second finger of my right hand to just bring that up, to just enable me to block the right nostril. Inhale left, block with the second finger of the right hand, and exhaling out of the right nostril. And if you're watching this, if you have any tension in your shoulders because of holding the right elbow up, you can just take the left palm under your right elbow to support that arm to continue to flow. And then just notice as you continue with this breath, once you get to the flow of the blocking and the unblocking, the blocking of the right, inhaling through the left, blocking the left, exhaling through the right nostril, you'll find that you'll naturally come into this flow. And as you do, just consider breathing in and thinking that I am calm and reflective as you inhale through the left nostril. And as you exhale, you can just say to yourself, I surrender what I no longer need. It's just going to enable you to take another couple of rounds, inhaling and exhaling. And on your final exhale, through the right nostril, allow both palms now to just settle on top of your knees if your legs are crossed, or if your legs are long, because this is your easy, comfortable seat. Just allow your hands to settle back on top of your thighs or your knees. Pause for a moment to regain that breath. Nice, easy breath. And now all I'm going to invite you to do is take a nice deep inhale, palms come up overhead. Nice exhale, float palms down by the sides of the body. Again, inhaling, exhaling. One more round, inhaling. This time as you exhale, float the left palm down, keeping the right hand up overhead. Left hand reaches the earth or your mat. This time right hand reaches all the way over to the left side of your mat. And as you inhale, exhale the right fingertips down to the mat, floating up. Inhale, reaching over, bending gently into the left elbow as you reach over, rooting your right sit bone and allowing your right knee to become heavy. And again, just flow with this. Right arm reaching over with the inhale and exhaling it softly back down to the earth on the exhale. Just making any gentle movements with the head and neck that feels right for you. One more time here. This time as you exhale, the right fingertips reach the earth, floating down. Inhaling, left fingertips up and over to the right side, softly bending into the right elbow to reach a little bit deeper. So you just decide where that is for you as you reach over with the inhales and softly float back down with the exhales. Inhaling, exhaling. One more time. This time allowing your left fingertips to just settle and just pause here. Find an awareness of opening the sides of the ribs and the lungs with each of those side stretches. So now what I'm going to invite you to do, whether your legs are long or whether you're cross-legged, is some seated cat-cow. So it's a little bit of a tilt on the sit bones, a rocking of the pelvis, rocking forward with the chest as we rise and take an inhale forward. A light touch of the fingertips on the knees or the thighs, just drawing your elbows to the sides of your body with the inhales, and the shoulders come back. Jaw is parallel to the mat, and as you exhale we rock back on our sit bones. We draw in the belly button to the back of the spine. It's okay to hunch the shoulders, and you exhale all of the breath out of the belly as the chin dips into the chest. Inhaling, rocking forward on the sit bones, gliding the shoulders back, elbows to the side of the waist, jaw and chest just reaching forward, more space to breathe into the belly, ribs, chest. And then as you exhale, hunching the shoulders, hollowing out the belly, exhaling out. Couple more times here. So think about bringing awareness to cycles and flow, inhaling and exhaling. Where are you moving forward with your breath? Again, just like releasing the breath, what patterns and flows, what serves us, what can we release? And again, just notice your energy, how you flow with this seated cat-cow. Is it smooth and slow? Are you pausing with the exhales? Are you pausing with the inhales to notice the opening and the warmth of the spine all the way from the sit bones, lower spine, mid spine, upper spine, shoulders, head, neck, chest, and all the way back in, head, top of shoulders, top of back, lower back, mid back, base of spine, seat rooted down all the way in. And then next deep breath back to center, just to pause here. So although we've opened side to side and we've come forward and back, we're now going to ring out with a twist. So this time we're going to float with the inhale, both hands overhead, nice deep breath in. This time as you exhale, right fingertips float behind you and land on your mat, just behind your right hip, and your left fingertips float down to reach and touch gently on top of your right knee. Now if you're doing this with legs long, you can still do that. So the inhale up, exhale, twist, and just land on the outer edge of your right knee if your legs are long. So wherever you are, take a moment to really root through the sit bones, and the right fingertips really dynamically press into the earth, so you've got a nice foundation there. Softness in the right shoulder, softness in the right knee, a heaviness in the right knee, softness of the left fingertips, and just relax your left shoulder. If there's any tension there, release it down. Gentle bend into the left elbow here. So this twist may be enough for you right now. But as we're ringing out old patterns, if you feel called to, you can take a nice deep breath in, fill up the belly, ribs and chest, and then exhale and rotate the torso by gently bending into the right elbow and into the left elbow, not collapsing into the spine, just looking behind you now, just to see what was behind, what you've left behind, what you're releasing and ringing out, knowing that that's no longer going to be there. When you inhale, both hands overhead, bring in that new energy, and just for this one, pause here, floating the hands down back at center. To truly feel into that twist. Twists are detox for our body, so it rings out anything within us that isn't served, shaking that energy up, twisting it out and releasing it. So you might find that one side of your body feels a little bit misaligned because we've only twisted one side. So let's now do that on the other. Inhaling. Yep, we knew that was going to happen, didn't we? You can hear the energy side here with me. So inhaling, both hands up. Exhaling this time, right fingertips on top of left knee, left fingertips behind, rooting those left fingertips into the earth. Nice long spine, relaxing into both shoulders, softly bending into the right elbow. Just pausing here with a very gentle twist here, over to the left side. Just pause here to breathe, feel that connection into the earth. And if you record for a deeper twist, again, all that you're going to do is take a nice deep breath into belly, ribs and spine. And as you exhale, rotate the torso, turn the head to look over the left shoulder. Take a little bit of a bend into the left elbow so the left elbow is not locked out. Gentle opposition of the right fingertips to the left knee, so it helps you rotate a little bit deeper. Keeping the length in the spine, softness in the jaw and the face. And then when you feel ready, both hands back over. Nice deep breath in, floating the hands to just rest on top of your knees or your thighs. Pause here to take a breath and just feel that twist. Feel that balance and alignment. So if you've got your blanket, we're now going to come onto all fours to take a thread the needle, where we're just going to gently surrender to the mat. So here we come onto all fours and we take our hands under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. Now it's very important here that the hips and the knees remain aligned. Don't want you to sort of fall forward with the hips. Try and take a gentle engagement of the belly button to the spine. Left hand remains where it is. We're going to take an inhale as we float our right hand up towards the sky. Now the palm is facing up, okay? Now as you exhale, we're going to float that right palm down, but as the right palm comes in front of your chest, the right palm needs to be facing upwards, okay? So you're looking at your inner palm, and you start to lower your chest by bending your left elbow as you pass your right hand through to the opposite side of your mat. So your right hand reaches through to the left. You've bent into your left elbow. Now as you can see, if you're looking at the video, the screen, my right shoulder hasn't fully yet connected to the mat, but it is going to. So what you're going to do is you're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, allow your right shoulder to reach the mat, your right temple to reach the mat and cheek, and your left palm just reaches out to the top of the mat and grounds through, rooting, holding you here. Allow your right cheek, your right shoulder and the back of your right hand to be heavy. The left palm is connected and rooted. Your knees are connected and rooted. Tops of feet too. Soften into your left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice exhale out. So just think here about going beyond all that we do, a gentle surrender into the mat, into the earth, to be held here in your moment of stillness. So to come out of this, you're going to draw your left palm back towards your face, ground through the left palm, which enables you to lift your right shoulder, your right cheek, and then drawing your right palm back under your right shoulder, drawing your left palm back under your left shoulder, and just taking a moment to just take tabletop. So the head and the neck are aligned with the spine, just looking down into the earth. Maybe go even a little bit deeper. Maybe just take yourself with your eyes closed, looking down above you, beyond you and below you. As we said, we're looking at the beginning here, we're looking at our release and our reset. It's the time to just have some clarity about where you are right now and where you're at. So we're going to do that all on the other side, this time taking an inhale. Left palm up, left palm floats, palm face up, past the chest, past the right forearm, bend into the right elbow and allow the back of your left palm to connect to the earth, drawing the belly button to the back of the spine, and then pause, take a nice deep breath in here. As you exhale, bend deeper into your right elbow, allowing your left shoulder, left temple and cheek to connect to the earth. Pause here and be held, and then when you feel ready, just glide that right palm to the top of your mat. Draw your belly button in, be held here. Soften into your right shoulder, so there's no tension there. Soften the cheeks, face muscles, the jaw. Just be held here. Again, surrendering on the other side. You know, we always have choices in life, don't we? I always like to think about the thread, the needle. It's just where we're going beyond, where we're looking, what path do we want to take, you know. It's one of those things where when you're just in your normal flow and, you know, you might just drive into work and you take the same route you always take, the left turn or the right turn. It's just what you take into your daily routine. Slowly start to draw that right palm back towards your face to ground through and glide that left palm back out, back under the left shoulder. So what I'm trying to say here is we have choices, don't we? And these twists and these looking beyond as we take our yoga practice is something that I sort of think about. You know, daily life, we always travel forward, don't we? But we have choices. We can go left, we can go right, we can go straight on, we can go backwards. You know, all of these different flows to us, but you know, it's got to feel right, hasn't it? And that's what I'm teaching in our practices. You know, it's about having clarity, to have awareness that you just don't bolt straight into something without reflecting on why. So very slowly now, we're just going to curl our toes. We're going to ground through our palms. I'm going to lift our knees off the mat and slowly start to send our sit bones towards the sky, not coming into a full down dog, so our heels aren't going to meet the mat. We're just going to pedal through the legs here. So wherever you are, we're just going to bend one knee and then allow the opposite sole of foot to connect to the earth, and then the other. And if this is too much for you, you can stay in tabletop and you can just take the right toes back to the back of the mat and then bring that right knee in, and then the left. So you don't have to come all the way up to down dog if that's too much for you, but just find out where you need to be. Pedal in your down dog, bringing one knee bent, one leg straight, a little bit of a rock of the hips. You might need to pad through the hands. If, like me, I've got a little bit of arthritis in my hands, so I find that sometimes, you know, being in down dog too long could be too much on my wrists or my fingers. So again, what I try and take and teach is a little bit of a basketball spidey hand, so that if you take the tips of your fingertips and connect the padded section underneath your knuckles, as if you've got basketballs under each hand, and then press into the thumb pads as well, and then connect the underneath of your knuckles, it takes a little bit of tension out of your wrists. So wherever you are now, find stillness, whether you're in tabletop, whether you take a deep bend in your knees in your down dog, sending your chest towards your thighs, or whether you can actually connect both soles of feet to the earth. Pause here and take a breath. Relax into the shoulders. Exhale out. One more breath. Exhale out. So if you're in tabletop, you're going to take a step to the top of your mat and come into forward fold. And if you're with me in down dog, you're just going to walk your feet towards your hands one by one. I've got to watch out for the little beetle that's on my mat. And then very slowly peel the palms off, so that when your feet reach your fingertips, you take a deep bend in your knees. Roll your shoulders back, allow your chest to rest on top of your thighs, root down through the soles of your feet, dip your head into your chest and just be held. Now, if you were in tabletop because you weren't in down dog, all that you're going to do is step your right foot forward, curl the toes of your left foot, raise your left knee up, and then step that left foot to be held. And we all meet in forward fold, okay? So in forward fold, we just pause here for a moment. So we're going to take an inhale. As we inhale, we're going to just raise our hands up forward ahead of us. And as we do so, your tailbone will naturally dip down because we're still being held by our legs. Root through the soles of the feet as we take a nice deep inhale and rise up to mountain. Take a nice deep breath in, circle the arms down, round and back, and just allow your palms to face forward at the front of your mat, palms open to receive energy. We're inviting in clarity, aren't we? But we're rooting into the earth and we're grounding in our intentions for the month ahead. So the month ahead for this practice, if you're following me, is September 2025. However, ahead of us, I have already planned out October and November's full moon teachings. And so therefore I've created a trilogy of events. So I will try and bring a yoga class to meet that. So if you can't join me in person, you can learn about what I'm teaching online in the Seed of Change. So just pause here for a moment. So feel the difference between the rooted, seated position that you've just been in. But now we find our root through the soles of our feet. The soles of our feet are what carries us forward every single day. But do we really check in with how important our feet are? Splay the toes, root through. Imagine roots coming into the earth. So I'm just going to teach you now half sun salutation. So here we're going to have our feet, so just make adjustments so that the soles of your feet are under your hip bones, so they're not too far wide out. So I like to do this, and then I find my hip bones and I try and align my big toe underneath that, so we're not too wide with our feet. We're going to take a nice softness, gentle bend into our knees. We're going to take a deep breath in, so you can have your hands maybe at prayer, because this is part of the sun salutation. So we inhale. Take a nice deep breath in. Now we're going to swan dive. So the arms come by the sides of our body as we exhale. We draw our belly button into the spine. I'm teaching this slowly for you as we forward fold. And we float down to where we were a minute ago. Forward fold. So again here, in forward fold, you might find that a deep bend in your knees enables you to be held. It may be that you're okay with a little bit of longer legs in your forward fold. It just depends where you are in your practice. And if you need the support in a half fold, you can even just come to here, so the palms lightly rest on top of your thighs, relaxing your shoulders, but just keeping a light engagement of the belly button to the back of the spine to protect your lower spine here. So wherever you are, okay, here. So we're going to take a half lift. So the half lift, what that is again a softness in the knees. As we inhale, we just glide the palms up the fronts of our shins, taking a nice inhale. And if I just turn on the side, so as I do this, I draw the belly button to the back of the spine and think about tabletop in the back of my spine. So from the base all the way out to the crown of the head. And as we glide our palms, we can just gently press our palms into our thighs for that energetic opposition, but just gently squeezing the elbows into the side of the body and just pausing here to breathe. So to exhale, take that nice inhale. To exhale, we bend through the knees, and I like to glide my palms down the backs of my shins, and we're back into forward fold. Okay. So let's just try that half lift one more time before I show you how to rise up, and we'll repeat those sun salutations. So half lift, inhale, gliding shoulders back, drawing the elbows into the sides of the waist, length through the spine all the way out to the crown of the head and beyond, exhaling to bend. Now this time, here we are back again to stand into mountain. So here we go, bending through, raising the hands up, rooting through the seats, drawing in the belly button, standing up to rise, maybe a gentle back bend here on the inhale, and then an exhale, bringing hands back to heart center. So let's try that again. Ready? Inhaling up, exhaling, swan dive, circling the arms, hinging at the hips, drawing the belly button into the waist, gentle bend in the knees, forward fold. Pause here in the forward fold. Half lift, inhale, gliding the hands up the fronts of the shins, top of the thighs, pausing there, drawing in the elbows, length in the spine, softness in the head and neck, just making sure there's length there. Inhale, exhale to fold. This time, seat comes to the heels, hands come forward, reaching through, inhaling to stand. Exhaling, maybe bringing this time hands to heart center. Exhale out. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, swan dive, bend in the knees, forward fold as you exhale out nice and slowly. Inhale when you get to forward fold to half lift. Exhaling, bending into the knees, grounding through the soles of the feet, seat to the heels, rising up. And we'll pause there. Palms face out. closing your eyes and just feeling into that warmth of that flow. So this time we're going to inhale, we're going to exhale, forward fold. And once we get into forward fold, we're just going to step the right foot towards the back of the mat and land the right knee, right top of the foot. Okay. And we're going to stay here for a moment, but root into the sole of the left foot. Inhale, roll the shoulders down, round and back. Now, if you struggle with this, to reach the hands back onto the floor for any reason, you can just pause here with both hands on top of the thigh. Try and keep the hips aligned if you do though, and the shoulders square facing forward rather than rotating in the hips. Now, if you can roll the shoulders back and find space to breathe here, that's enough. Okay. So then we're going to rise up. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. So wherever you are, whether your hands are on your thigh or whether your hands are on the earth, inhale, rise up. So here we're going to draw the belly button into the spine. We're going to really root down into the left sole of the foot as you raise both hands up overhead. Relax the shoulders and draw the inner thighs in towards each other, so everything holds you strong and secure into the center line here. You need your breath as well, breathing, softening into the shoulders. So this time we're going to take a rotation twist. So we really need to be rooted into the sole of the left foot, okay? And a really heavy rooted right knee and right top of the foot. Inhaling. As you exhale, right fingertips come forward with the palm facing the left side, and you then allow the left hand to reach back towards the back of the mat. So we're twisting and opening both palms to the left side of your mat. Now, if this is too much for you, you can take a bend into your left elbow and take your left fingertips onto your left hip, but try and rotate the left shoulder down and back like that twist we did seated. Right fingertips reaching forward, drawing the belly button in. Really strong opposition of the left sole of foot into the earth to be held strong. Breathe. It's quite fiery, this one. So wherever you are, inhale, both hands up overhead. Exhale this time, both hands to the earth. Okay, so now wherever you are, curl the right toes, lift the right knee, and then just take a little step. And there you are, back into that forward fold. Make adjustments with the feet, maybe take a little wiggle of the shoulders. Let's just take a little half lift here. We're not going to rise up because you know we've got to do the other side. Exhale to fold. Trying to find a softness in your jaw, in your face muscles. This time stepping the left foot towards the back of the mat. Land the left knee, left top of the foot. Okay, so we know what to do. We're going to roll the shoulders down, round and back to find space. Now, if you know that you need to stay here because you're already there for the next rise up, you can stay here. I like this horse stance, rolling the shoulders, lifting the chest, looking onto the horizon. Really, you know, it's like a little sprint position, isn't it? A little bit of clarity there. Where am I looking? Am I focused? Am I ready to go? That's how this energy feels, because we're preparing to grow, aren't we? Planting seeds and preparing to grow. Okay, so we know what we need to do, really rooting into the right sole of the foot. So this is a lovely way to be able to rise up with our breath and dynamically really root that right foot in. Are we ready? So rooting, inhaling, draw in the breath, really open, and maybe just send the hips forward a little bit as we bring the inhale in. Right sole of foot really rooted, left knee, left top of the foot heavy, drawing thighs in together. So it's sort of as if you're going to suck everything into the center line, and as you do so, so does your belly. There's that core around here, there's that foundation, that root, really to hold you steady. So now you'll be able to see a little bit better on this side what I do with my right hand. So inhale. As you exhale, start to twist to look over to the right side of your mat. Left palm comes forward. Can you see it's a high five of the left side? So my hand's not twisted, it is reaching forward. And then with this right arm, to enable yourself, some might struggle to do this, but you've got to get your shoulder into its shoulder girdle. If you just bring it back like that, it's going to hurt, okay? So as we do this rotation, it's like a big windmill. You're circling your right arm all the way back to the back of your mat, but again, still keeping your root strong through the right sole of foot. Drawing the belly button in, breathing, relaxing. And again, if this is too much with your right arm reaching behind, take a bend into your right elbow and take your right fingertips onto your right hip. Pause here to breathe. Again, just feel that twist, but just think about when we were doing thread the needle. We're still looking in a different direction, but this time we feel stronger, maybe a little bit more aware of that we've taken a step forward. Still feels a little bit difficult, a little bit more challenging, but we're okay because we've got a strong foundation and we know how to breathe. Inhale back, exhale fold. This time, curling the toes of the left foot, raising the left knee and coming into that forward fold. This time we will just pause for a moment. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly, the ribs and the chest, trying to soften the shoulders. Think about this time, anything that's not serving you is just falling out of the crown of your head. Any negative thoughts, any negative people, any negative places, things, whatever it is that's not serving you right now, because we're going to continue to release and align, and this part of the practice is all about that. Okay, so it's all about rooting into the earth with grounding root intentions. We've moved with our breath and we've bowed in surrender with our sun salutations. We've become open to possibilities and we've stretched and opened our heart space on our last two twists. Okay, so now we're going to take a nice deep breath in and rise back up to mountain. Take that breath in, relax the shoulders down, round and back. So this time we're going to step our right foot to the back of the mat and we'll just turn to the right side. So you can take your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, because we're just going to flow through goddess pose. So some of you might have already done this. So soft in the knees, and your feet are at 10 to 2, and I've got a nice line on my mat, some guiding lines, so that's quite helpful. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, both hands up overhead. Now this time as we exhale out, we're going to bend into the knees at the same time we bend into our elbows. We don't hinge at our hips and send our seat back, so try and keep the spine long and in the center. It's all of the weight into the soles of the feet as we sit down and into that wide sort of 10 to 2 squat. Okay, goddess pose. This is strong and grounded with arms wide, and we exhale with sighs to release. So I teach this in my class, and I did on my last one, get some really noisy sighs out. So nice deep breath in, and as we squat down into goddess, releasing what's not serving you. Inhale up, exhale back down. One more time. This time, staying in this squat, let's just take a little dip into the center with our right shoulder, drawing it back, still keeping down in that squat. Inhale, exhale, left shoulder to center. Bringing it back, rising up, soles of the feet, ground and root you to enable you to rise strong. Just going to take your hands to your hips, soften your knees. It's going to be a gentle forward fold, so it's very similar to like when we had our legs together. We're going to inhale, soften the knees, and we're just going to allow the chest to start to fall forward. Draw the belly button to the back of the spine. As the front of the chest becomes heavy, you hinge at the hips, and you may just get halfway with that flat back, but this time in a wide forward fold. And again, you can see with me, I just heel toe to adjust the hips. We're all different, so don't keep your legs close together thinking, oh my God, the back of my hamstrings are really tight and it hurts my lower spine. Just make those adjustments. Make it feel comfortable for you. If you're going to move forward with ease and grace, you need to be happy in your body and your mind, knowing that it's all okay. And then you can allow the palms or the fingertips, or you may just stop here or here for support. We'll invite you to purchase blocks if you're going to be joining me. So here you can just dip your chin to your chest. You can take a gentle sway here of the shoulders from right to left. Just again, surrendering to that powerful movement of goddess. So very slowly, we're just going to walk our hands towards the top of the mat. We pivot on the ball of our foot. So now your left foot will be connected to the earth, and you'll be on the ball of your right foot. So just step that right foot back up to the top of the mat, bend through to the knees and rise up one more time. Taking a nice deep breath in. This time we step our right foot to the back of the mat. We're going to continue to grow now so you can see the levels. So this here, as we rise up, warrior one, taking a nice deep breath in. So very similar to what we did with crescent lunge, low lunge. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to rotate on the ball of our right foot. And as we rotate on the ball of our right foot, our right hand tracks to the back of the mat and the left hand comes to the front of the mat. Both palms facing down to the earth, okay? And in line with the shoulders. I've then allowed the sole of my right foot to be parallel to the back of the mat, and you've got a nice deep bend into the left knee. Now be mindful that you don't rock into the arch of the left foot. So again, just like I taught you on the low lunge, really root down into the sole of the left foot, really energetically. You try and keep your hips aligned to the center, and then roll the shoulders down, round and back. Rolling the shoulders down, round and back engages the belly button to the back of the spine. Then look forward. Powerful warrior one. Sorry, warrior two. Done warrior one. Warrior two. Take a nice deep breath in. Flip the palm of the left hand, and as you inhale this time, allow that left palm to just raise up overhead, as if you're going to high five the back of your mat, and allow your right palm to just nestle into the back of the right thigh. Take a nice deep breath here because it's a nice stretch. I say nice stretch. Powerful on the legs, but nice stretch down the left side of the body. Inhale here. Exhale out. One more inhale. As you exhale, allow the torso to come back to center. Rise both palms back up to shoulder height. Pause here. Take a nice deep breath in. This time, as you exhale out, you hinge and allow your left forearm to rest on top of your left thigh. Now your right hand, I haven't told you to do anything with it, but naturally, because you've hinged, it's probably stacked above your right shoulder and left shoulder, just above your head. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, now allow that right palm with your right fingertips to reach towards the top of your mat, and your right arm is now aligned with your right ear. So depending on where you're looking, if you can look to the side, you might want to look down. Again, take a nice deep breath in and out and bend into that left knee, really strong in the legs, really strong in the outer right edge of your right foot. Inhaling, rising up. Both arms come back to shoulder height. Now to come out of that, because that's quite powerful, listen, pause with me for a moment and just listen and watch. So take a nice deep breath in, a nice deep breath out. Now on the next one, we're going to inhale both hands as we pivot on the ball of the right foot, bend into the right knee and step to the top of your mat on really wobbly ground here. But again, once you know what you're going to do, you'll just come naturally, so you can pivot and come to stand to the top of your mat. We've got to do that all on the other side. Okay, pause here. Set your intention. Now, because we've done it all on that side, we know what we're doing. So we're going to inhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat, land on the ball of the left foot. The right foot is energetically pressing into the earth. Pause here, draw the belly button into the spine, breathe. This time, inhale. As you exhale, pivot on the ball of the left foot. Allow the sole of the left foot to connect to the earth. Bend deeply into your right knee, right fingertips reaching forward, left fingertips reaching back. Again, I like to do a little check-in, roll the shoulders down, round and back, and feel that engagement of the belly button to the spine. Nice and strong here in warrior two. Looking forward, just feeling the difference on both sides. I'm going to take in reverse warrior now. Flip the right palm. Inhale, right palm overhead. Don't straighten the right knee. Keep a bend in your right knee, and that's where you'll find the stretch down the right side of the waist. Allow your left palm to track down the back of your left thigh. Pause here and breathe. Just notice if you're scrunching your toes on your mat with your right foot. That's what I'm doing. Inhale. As you exhale, hands come back to shoulder height, keeping that bend in the right knee, keeping a heaviness in the outer edge of your left foot. Bend now into the torso, so allowing your right forearm to rest on top of your right knee. Notice that your right knee hasn't collapsed. Keep drawing your right knee towards the outer edge of your mat. Inhale, and this time exhale your left fingertips towards the top of your mat in side angle here in warrior. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel the stretch all the way down the left side of the body, and again, become aware of the difference of being held by the other side of your body. When you're ready, inhaling, floating both hands back up to shoulders, so we're in warrior two. Pause here for a moment. You know how to come out of it. Inhale, pivot on the ball of your foot, and then come up to stand. Woo. Okay. So all of that was to honour, strengthen and integrate our clarity and our intentions going forward. As we said, we've rinsed out and wrung out old patterns, but we've got to have strength and clarity to move forward, and that's what I'm teaching. But I also need to ensure that I'm teaching balance, don't I? If I can, can you see with my feet, I'm trying to find my balance because I'm on uneven ground, but that's even better for me to teach to you, isn't it? Because that's what life is all about. You know, life is never smooth sailing and easy, is it? And therefore, you know, we have to make good choices, and we have to find our balance, and we need the good and the bad because that's what life is all about. It's what challenges us. So I'm now going to take you into tree pose. So to do that, we work with our root like we did in mountain. So just going to ask you to splay the toes on your left foot and really think about just taking the softness in your left knee and taking all of your weight onto that left foot. Now, your tree pose, the first time you do tree pose, it may just be that you're just playing with lifting, like I am here, the right foot, and that's enough. But what I invite you to do is, I'm looking down at you here, but I invite you to look forward and find what we call a drishti point, something that you can focus on. One thing that you think, right, that's my focus. Heaviness in the sole of the left foot, little bend in the left foot. Tilt the pelvis. As you tilt your pelvis, you'll naturally find that your belly button will draw into the back of the spine. Roll the shoulders and maybe take your hands to heart center. And this is where then you breathe and play around with your tree. So it could be that the sole of the foot just comes into the inner seam of the left calf. Now I can't just raise mine. I have to have a little bit of a helping hand. And what I've found is the tilt of the pelvis and the draw of the belly button into the spine and sending everything tight. So the sole of the right foot opposite pushes into the left thigh. So there's dynamic opposition to hold everything strong and steady in your tree. And then you may even be able to go a little bit deeper by raising the hands. But again, they're all the four different levels. And I know because of obviously certain injuries and joint issues that I've got, that one side I find is always a little bit easier than the other. And I think this might be it. So you float the hands down and then you come out of it when you're ready. And again, if you fall out of your tree, that's okay, because that's what I'm teaching you. Feel the frustration of, oh gosh, it's wobbly and I know I'm all over here, but what can you do? What can you do to align that? You know, I'm talking and trying to do a tree, but I haven't got the foundation right. So if you get the foundation right, you build on the foundation and you create a stronger tree. And this is what yoga is all about. So again, set the foundation, spread the toes, really root down through the sole of the foot. Then find your focal point, your drishti, the place where you're going to focus. Then think about, okay, drawing the belly button into the spine, bringing the hands to center, and then finding your balance. And as I've said, you know, if it's uncomfortable and you're on uneven ground like me, move. Find somewhere else to find your root, to find your tree that will make you be able to stay there. And this may be enough. And I've already got a wobble going on this one. And then energetically, connection of the sole of the foot into the thigh if you're driving, you know, forward and you're thinking about progressing in your tree, tilting the pelvis, finding that root, the root lock, and then raising the hands if it feels comfortable to do so. I've still got a wobble going on, but what tree doesn't? You know, I'm looking at trees ahead of me right now. You're probably looking at trees behind me. They're moving, they're swaying, they're never going to be still because we're full of energy. We're not meant to be still, are we? We're meant to flow in our own dynamic way. And if that means your tree for you today is to just lift the toes slightly, then that's enough for me, because you're here and you're learning how to progress. And that's what teaching is all about, learning to be you. So just root back down now. You might take a big circle of the shoulders down, round and back. Close your eyes and just feel that energy that you've created through the soles of the feet, all the way up the legs, through the pelvis, the belly, the ribs, the chest, the spine, the shoulders, the arms, all the way up the neck, the head, the neck, face, and beyond. Just pause to feel that for a moment. So we're just going to float down now, taking a nice deep inhale, bending the knees and floating all the way down to forward fold. And this time just stepping one knee back and then the other. And so we're going to come into a seated position now. So just take a wide-legged position. I'm going to get dirty feet here. So this isn't going to be my widest leg, or is it? Oh, I should be all right. Here we go. Take a wide-legged forward fold. So again, you might want to sit on your cushion or your blanket, and that helps when we're going to go forward. Okay. And again, it's not about going into your deepest forward fold. We're being mindful of our base of our spine and our hips and where we are. So take a nice deep breath in. Lengthen the spine, and this time as you exhale, draw the belly button into the spine and walk the fingertips gently forward, keeping your sit bones rooted and keeping your toes facing towards your knees. And then you'll start to know how far you can go with, once you start to feel a little bit of stretch in the inner hip area or the outer hip area and the lower base of your spine. And then just see if you can enable the forearms to rest in front of you. And then the final part is to dip your chin. Now it's the dipping of the chin which will open up the stretch in the back line of your spine. So again, just be mindful of this. The deeper you dip your chin, you'll notice a change in where the stretch of the spine becomes more open. And obviously as we allow gravity to do its work, that will also help. So for mine, the opening first starts in the lower base of my spine, noticing if there's any hunching in my shoulders, and I just draw my shoulders down and back a little bit away from my ears. Soften the face, allow the heels to become heavy, sit bones to become heavy. And I just go quiet now and go inward, because this is your chance to sort of slow down and reflect. This is where we integrate all of our practice, you know. What are we releasing? Where do we want to be strong? How do we feel? Where are we moving forward? And now we embed that all in with kindness to ourselves. A gentle surrender in this forward fold inward. Still finding the space to breathe and be held. But hopefully now, find a little bit of calmness to this. An awareness of what surrender means to you. What that should look like, that kindness. And to come out of this now, move very carefully. So the head and the neck is the last thing that comes up. So you walk the hands back towards the body. As you walk the hands back towards the body, as you move slowly, there's me shooting off. So move very slowly to come back to a long spine. You don't do what I just did, because they're the sort of things where you can have an injury. And then just pause here for a moment. Pause here for a moment. Slowly bring the legs into center and just bring the soles of the feet together. Now if you've got blocks or you've got cushions and you want this to be comfortable, the closer that you bring the heels towards the seat, the obviously more energetic the connection is. But I'm not asking you to do that. So to make it more softer, you can have the heels away from the body, and you can just pad underneath the knees here and just sit here. You might choose to take another forward fold. I'm being called to do so. That might be because of how quickly I just moved. So wherever you are with a long spine, or whether you're called to fall forward again, just pause here and breathe. And then again, very slowly coming out of this, walking the hands up the legs, bringing the knees in together, and slowly coming down to lay on your back, bringing your heels towards your seat. Just lift your hips a couple of inches and take your hips 2 inches to the right. Allow your left hips to settle to the earth or to your mat, and then allow your knees to drop over to the left. Once the knees have dropped over to the left in this supine twist, you can inhale the hands overhead. So our final detox, our final twist and release, to give clarity but softness this time. So whereas before we were looking beyond, and then we twisted with strength and clarity, we now take this twist with surrender, an awareness, an opening of the heart, but still consideration to be closed in half of our body. So we're not truly going to divulge how we're feeling to everyone, are we? We're mindful of considering our needs here in this posture of release and surrender. Protection is maybe the word I'm looking for. Confidence to be open in the top part, but again, protection in the lower, the rooted foundation. So to come out of this, first you float your hands overhead. Then you slowly lift your knees. As you lift your knees, the soles of your feet will connect to the earth, but you'll notice your spine is misaligned. So to realign the spine, ground through the soles of the feet and lift your hips and spine and realign the spine back to center. Take your hips 2 inches to the left, and this time allow your right hip to settle. Drop your knees over to the right, pause here. Feel that connection, and then float your hands overhead. Just become aware of this twist now on the other side. This is our balance. As we move forward in this next full moon, bringing ourselves clarity, releasing what's not serving us, considering the seeds that we've planted throughout the year and those ones that we intend to plant for next year. Just pause with that thought. Take a nice deep breath into the belly, the ribs and chest, soften into the shoulders, the face muscles. Slowly floating the hands back over either side of the hips, bringing the knees to the center, and again the soles of the feet connect to the earth, raising the hips to realign the spine, and this time lowering down one vertebrae by another to reconnect back to the earth. And now I invite you to take Shavasana. Your legs go long. Or you may find that you want to take your feet wide either side of the mat. This is really good to decompress the spine and just allow your knees to fall into one another. So if you have any spine issues, this is really nice to lay with your knees together. And then we just pause here and we take a moment to breathe. I invite you to close your eyes and allow your body to become heavy against the earth. The harvest, full moon and rare eclipse reminds us that endings and beginnings are woven together, that by releasing we create space for the new. So now I'm going to slowly guide you through a body scan, and we'll move slowly through the body, letting go of what no longer serves and planting seeds of light and intention. Take a nice deep breath in and a nice slow breath out. Bring awareness to the crown of your head. With your exhale, you release old thoughts, mental clutter, and limiting beliefs. With your inhales, you plant a seed of clarity and vision, inviting in new perspectives. So just really take those deep breaths in. Planting seeds of clarity and vision, inviting in new perspectives, and releasing old thoughts, mental clutter, and limiting beliefs. Let it go and bring it in. Relax your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. Let go of tension and self-criticism. Plant seeds of kindness in the way you see yourself and others. Now take a breath in and feel into your throat. Release unspoken words, withheld truths, or outdated stories. Plant a seed of honest expression, the courage to speak from the heart with compassion and integrity. Now bring your awareness to your shoulders, the weight you carry. With each exhale, release burdens and responsibilities that are not yours to hold. Plant seeds of strength and support with each breath in, opening to receive help and to offer it from a place of balance. Now let that flow down your arms into your hands. Release what you've been gripping too tightly. Plant seeds of generosity and creativity, trusting your hands to shape the life you are calling in. Now maybe move your hands and rest them on your chest at your heart center. Rest your awareness at your heart space. With each inhale, plant seeds of love, gratitude, and joy. And with each exhale, release old hurts, griefs, or walls of protection. Feel your heart glowing like the full moon, radiant and open. Now breathe into your belly. Release fear, doubt, or the need to control. Plant seeds of confidence, willpower, and alignment, trusting your inner fire to guide your path. Now bring your awareness to your hips and your pelvis. Release stagnant emotions, creative blocks, or past attachments with each breath in and out. Plant seeds of flow, pleasure, and possibility, allowing yourself to move with the rhythm of life, with the rhythm of your breath. Now bring your awareness down into your thighs, your knees, your calves, and your feet. Release the heaviness of old journeys, the steps you no longer need to take. Plant seeds of stability, grounding, and forward movement, trusting the earth to hold you as you walk your new path. Now take a nice deep breath in, fill up the belly, the ribs and the chest, and as you exhale, just feel that moon energy throughout the whole of your body. And imagine your whole body bathed in the light of the moon, shadows dissolving, space opening. With every breath you are releasing what no longer serves. With every breath you are planting seeds of renewal, intention, and alignment. Rest here, integrating. Let the moonlight within you shine brighter with each breath. When you feel ready, bring your awareness back to your heart. Just whisper inwardly to yourself, I release what no longer serves me. I plant seeds for my highest growth. I'm going to invite you now to return to the breath, the rise and fall of your belly, your ribs and your chest. You slowly make gentle movements with your hands and your feet, maybe flexing and pointing your toes and giving them a little wiggle, maybe wiggling your fingertips and your wrists, and then making gentle movements of the lower legs, maybe drawing your heels towards your seat, a gentle rock of the hips and the pelvis, which naturally integrates movement into the spine, the shoulders, the head, the neck and the arms. Maybe taking a nice deep big breath in and stretch in the full body. Maybe hugging your knees into your chest, a little bit of a rock and roll on the spine before you roll onto one side and pause. Pause in this moment before we come back to your day ahead, your evening ahead, wherever you are. And then very slowly, once you've rolled onto your side, come to a seated position, back to where we began. bring your hands to your heart. Maybe keep your eyes closed and your awareness in, just noticing what this practice has done for you today, wherever you may be. I'm going to finish with an offer of an affirmation to take with you into the month of September, and hopefully you will be able to meet me at an event in person where we can embed in this energy even more powerfully, and obviously the rest of the events that I have remaining for the year. You can repeat silently in your mind to yourself or speak out loud with me. I honor what I have grown. I release what I no longer need. I step forward aligned with clarity and truth. And so we can just finish our practice here with a nice deep breath in, and you have a choice to sigh that breath out, or you have a choice to just finish with the chant of Om to seal in this practice. Whatever feels comfortable with you. And I know it's not always easy to be heard and hear your own breath, your own sound, your own wisdom. And it's taken me a while to feel that ability to have that confidence. So you do what's right for you. If you're alone and you can sigh out loudly, if you're alone and you can Om loudly, feel it, own it. This is the sealing in of today's practice, whatever that looks like for you, with confidence and clarity. Om. And then just take a nice, easy breath in. Bring your hands to heart center. Just dip your chin. Thank you for joining me for this September harvest moon and blood moon eclipse yoga practice. I didn't do too badly. So it's just over an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes. But hey ho, that's great, isn't it? Anyway, love and light, and see you at a class or an event soon.